Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. All right. Finishing up this coffee here. That's right, I drink coffee. I don't just taste liquor. I wouldn't dare drink it in the morning, but I will taste it. This morning we have, and you can see it's daylight already. Daylight already. Here at 5:56 a.m. Central Time. I wanted to start at 5:30, but I knew I wouldn't be able to start exactly at that time, but I kept getting delayed with various things. Kessler American Blended Whiskey, introduced in 1888. I have a little bit left in this little bottle. Versus Carstairs White Seal, introduced in 1940. Now, the Carstairs, Thomas Carstairs Distilling Company, was started in 1788. And in the 1940s, they were prominent. That's back when the blended whiskey was a real big deal. Then they faded and got bought out, I think, by Barton, and they got bought out. Barton got bought out by Sazerac. Okay, so that's the story there. So it's a Sazerac brand today. They make exactly one Carstairs brand today. Carstairs White Seal, 80 proof, aged at least 4 years, bottled. What does it say? A gracious combination of distinguished whiskeys, whatever those happen to be, and fine neutral spirits. Frankfort, Kentucky. Okay, so it's coming from Buffalo Trace. They don't list this on the Buffalo Trace website, but they list it on the Sazerac. And I noticed that Sazerac looks like they're reformatting their website because they don't have any more photos of their bottles of any brand all of a sudden. So I'm thinking they're taking everything down and they're going to redo it. It's kind of an old website, kind of older tech. Probably looked really cool in in 2003, for instance. I say 19, but I can remember looking at the Pabst Blue Ribbon website around 1998, 99, and had this little graphics, and it was like a saloon, like the old bartender with the handlebar mustache. And it says, "What do you have?" I said, "Oh boy, this is something." Huh? That was in its dead days when it was hitting rock bottom, before it, right when the comeback started, 1999. Okay, I have enough for maybe one more challenge. 99, 2000, Pabst was at rock bottom, less than 1 million barrels a year, and then the hipster thing took off. My eye's still a little swollen here. Puffy. I think it's clearing up a little bit. It's really the skin around my eye. Okay, let's see. They're both. This one's more gold. This one's more amber. Okay, and that's the Kessler. So the Kessler is darker. Now the Kessler is 80 proof as well, but it's a different blend. It's only aged 2 years, by the way. So 2 year aged versus 4 year or more. And this is the White Seal is blended at an 80-20 ratio. 80% grain neutral spirits, 20% straight whiskey. And this one is 72.5 to 27.5. So much higher, a good deal higher percentage of straight whiskey in the Kessler. Yeah, 80%. Oh, and what is the straight whiskey in the Kessler? Oh, probably 2 year aged Jim Beam, wouldn't you think? And the beams. And the Carstairs is probably very old Barton. That's their cheap bourbon, the very old Barton. And so it's aged 4 years. The Kessler, I'm getting them mixed up. The Carstairs is aged 4 years. So probably just take 80% grain neutral spirits from Midwest Grain Products. I know that's where those come from because they told me. And 20% Buffalo Trace produced Barton, very old Barton, right? No, I don't think they're using Buffalo Trace bourbon to make this. I know they're getting it from Midwest Grain Products, however, because I asked them on the tour. I said, they said, this is our column still where we used to distill gin and vodka, I think they said. I said, well, where do you get your grain neutral spirits from now? What did she say? Oh, our grain neutral spirits now are brought in contract. I said, that's from Midwest Grain Products of Indiana, right? She said, yeah, that's correct. I said, okay, thought so. It was just cheaper probably to just buy it. That's what a whole lot of people do. They just buy the stuff. Hello, says Goalkeepers. Hello, Goalkeepers. So Barton and Buffalo Trace, they do their own bourbon distilling, you see. And they probably do their own filtering for the vodka and their own finishing for the gin, because they have a bunch of gin that they make. And she said Crystal Palace was huge at Barton. That's in Bardstown, Kentucky. I just mentioned it. I said, oh, Crystal Palace. She said, oh, she's turned and said, that's a big one here. We make a whole lot of that. I was thinking, oh, okay. That's why I see it all over Louisiana. I didn't say it was a good gin. I just say it's popular. You know, there's a lot of people with no money that got to drink every day, right? So that's why you got Heaven Hill over here, blended Kentucky whiskey, and then the Crystal Palace gin. I've seen Crystal Palace around here for $4.99 a bottle for $7.50. It's really not that bad though. Like you taste it, it tastes just like sort of bland, dull. It's like it's just so standard. It's not anything too exciting about it. Now, if you get the Seagram's Distiller's Reserve gin, it's got a lot more complexity. But after all, it costs $15 a bottle as opposed to $5. See, you pay. You have to pay to play. You want access? You got to pay for access, I guess you'd say. All right, anyway. Okay, that smells like just alcohol, grain spirits. It just tastes, it smells like not rubbing alcohol, because you know rubbing alcohol is really sharp. You know, you can't miss, but this is like grain, you know what I mean? Grain alcohol. My friend David would say corn whiskey. It smells like corn whiskey. This one does too, but it has a little richer, more, if you want to say whiskey aroma, a little bit of that vanilla and oak. Type thing, pungent breadiness sort of item. Well, I could have bought a whole 1,750 milliliter bottle of Carstairs. And that Aquista Pace is in Mandeville the other day, or Covington. I could have gone to either one, but I said, I'm not buying any big jugs of this stuff. Considering I got so much laying around that I haven't even popped open yet after years. Okay, so this one is breathing. and more of the whiskey component is coming out. It's not just an alcohol burn now. You're starting to get some, bread, like I say, sourdough bread, some bagel, and wood. And I still think it's the white seal. Let's go with the taste. Around 8:50 a.m. this computer is going to shut down for hours, I think. I got a message from Microsoft, so we got a major update coming in, and it could take a long time to update in Windows. And I said, oh boy. And they say it's going to have all these new features, you know. I wish those features would involve correcting the problem with the Google Hangouts, YouTube Hangouts on Air, and the Firefox. But that really has nothing to do with Microsoft. It's a Google issue where it's something to do with plugins, and Mozilla and Firefox, so they're not dealing with it. That made my Hangouts more difficult. I used to love doing it on Firefox, but anyway. Honestly, the one on the left seemed like it has a richer flavor than the one on the right. A little mintiness. Strange, like wintergreen. That's weird. You say, well, you had coffee before. That threw off everything. Maybe, but it threw it off equally, right? So like I had coffee and then I drank the 2 whiskeys. So I don't think it interfered with one flavor over the other, all right? It's weird. They both have like a fruit flavor. You know, that's, you say, no, you're going nutty now. No. And I've encountered this before with these, and I never mentioned, but it has like a cantaloupe, however, cantaloupe. It's like a melon. Yeah, I have mentioned that in the past with some whiskeys. They have this melon, and I guess it's the blended whiskeys, like a melon flavor. I know, right? It's kind of complex. No way, Jose, that an $8 bottle of blended whiskey can be complex. Well, they seem to have a lot of different components here, so I don't know why I'm just using a hypothetical person, a straw man. I don't know why you can't say that. I know that Beams Suntory has a whole line of blended whiskey that's from Spain called DYI, I think, DYI. Apparently, it's like some huge brand in España, in the Kingdom of Spain. And I was looking on the website, it's all in Spanish, but I don't think I've ever seen those over here. It's like some gourmet blended whiskey. They make a big deal out of it on their website, though. Like it's some kind of great thing. Maybe it is. I know in India, you got to watch out. But like the big companies, you know, Campari and Pernod Ricard and Beam Suntory, they have big Indian brands. And they're almost all blended whiskey. They don't really have single malt, straight bourbon or anything like that over there. But you got to be really, I don't think for imports it'd be a problem. And they probably don't even sell them here, but you got to really be careful in India because they have so many flim-flam companies that will sell like wood alcohol. They just had that in the paper the other day. All these people died in Africa and India drinking some kind of fake alcohol. I mean, it's bad. You say, oh, all cultures are the same. Okay. You say that. I never said that. You've never heard me ever. I'll pay you money if you ever heard me say that, if you can verify that with any kind of documentation. It's the same thing in Mexico and Latin America. They got Buchanan's with a special spout on the bottle because of so many instances of people switching inferior Scotch, fake Scotch whiskey in the bottles. You hear about that happening here? I don't. Now, but anyway, so you got to be really careful here in this country. You know, you just buy whiskey at the store and you figure it's probably either, you know, it might be cheap, but you figure it's not going to kill you, right? But in other countries, you better watch it. Would you go to Zimbabwe and buy liquor? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I would do that. I might have done that in 1979 when it was Rhodesia. Yeah. Okay. But now, oh no, you go buy it. You drink it. I'll watch. You take the risk. Okay. Anyway, back to this. I can't really figure out. Yeah, I bought whiskey in Mexico. Oh no, I bought brandy in Mexico. And it was a ripoff. I got ripped off. Presidente brandy. Like, it's supposed to be so much cheaper in Mexico. Nope. Sorry. Same price, if not a little higher. Then I had to pay tax on it when I crossed the border, which made it much higher than in Louisiana. I said, well, that'll never happen again. I mean, I was so irritated, but you live and learn, right? Beer, I never had this beer problem in Mexico. I would just buy the beer. And it was kind of cheap, you know, and then I would, of course, I just kept walking past that Texas Tax Bureau. I didn't know what that was. Like, literally, I'm not lying, you know. I was just like, what's that? But it's another station you have to check in, and you got to pay tax on alcohol you import into Texas. Not United States customs. They don't care if it's a small amount. They just look at, oh, okay. Beer, Texas, oh no. So forget the Mexico purchases. I didn't even notice anything like that in California. Oh, no, I don't think I bought any liquor on the Californias, you know, in the Mexico, Baja California dough. Baja California del Norte. Okay, so the melon. Yeah. More sourdough or something, more alcohol burn. I don't know which one's better. I think the one to the right is a little better. It has a little more complexity, and I think it's Carstairs. Now, they say Kessler is the second best-selling blended whiskey in America. I have no reason to disagree with that. But I was checking the top-selling whiskeys in America overall in 2017. Kessler was not in the top 10, so it could be a distant second, okay? But you know what number 6 was? Really number 7, but it's really number 6 was the Seagram 7. Seagram 7 was one of the top 10 selling whiskeys in America overall of any bourbon, straight bourbon, anything. I say number 7, but really number 6, because the second best-selling brand was Fireball. Well, you know, Fireball is not really a whiskey. It's a liqueur, really. Legally, it's a liqueur. It's cinnamon-flavored whiskey, but it's only 35 proof. You see, I mean 35% alcohol, sorry, 70 proof. I think legally, if I remember the Tax and Trade Bureau says to be whiskey, it has to be 80 proof, right? So it's really classified as a liqueur, but they're Statista, that statistical company, they were listing it as number 2. The second best-selling so-called whiskey in America is Fireball, of all things. That's where Sazerac makes all their money, from Fireball. Well, you know what number 1 was. You know what that is. That's Jack Daniels, old number 7. But I think Yeah, Fireball is number 2. So it actually outsells Jim Beam. You say, no, you're correct. Yeah. There's a lot of people that want to drink cinnamon flavored whiskey concoctions, apparently. And they said in 2011, it was nothing. Like the sales of Fireball were minuscule. And then they just took off. Now it's number 2 selling so-called whiskey in America. And then Sazerac was suing Jack Daniels because they had this thing called Tennessee Fire, and they claimed they were violating copyright law or something. But Kessler must be a fave. The Fireball from the freezer, the best way I know. I've never had it ever. I see it everywhere. Like everybody drinks it. And I talk to people and they say, oh, I love Fireball. Okay. I'm not putting that down. I'm saying that's not me. You know, it's like beer. People say, we're going to go drink some beer tonight. We're going to go drink some Bud Light Lime-A-Ritas or whatever. And I say, oh, you know, a beer-based concoction, right? Those are so popular, right? You say, don't judge. Don't you? I'm not judging. If that's what people want to drink, I say go for it. I'm just saying I don't like it. They're well made. It's like the Seagram's Escapes. Somebody said, well, you gave that a high score and that is trash. Now they're saying that in an objective manner. Objectively, it's trash. No, you're saying it's trash. I wouldn't drink it. To me, it's trash, yeah, but it's so popular, right? So, I mean, you know, I'm not here to say it's, you know what I mean? It's kind of like junk food, you know. We say, oh, you know, Kool-Aid, that's trash. Or the U.S. government doesn't say that. Well, you know, all right, hot damn is better in my opinion. Nearly frozen Jägermeister is delicious, says Sam. Honestly, I've never tried those liqueurs. The only liqueurs I ever tried, I think, well, I might have tried Jägermeister. I want to do a hangout for Jägermeister. You know, that deserves a review and a hangout, right? An examination. But I tried the Tennessee Fire, which tastes exactly like what they said. Jack Daniels mixed with Red Hots. And I was like, okay, why would somebody want to drink that? I mean, you know, it was like, okay. And then the Jack Daniels honey. I said, this is gross. I hate it. Luckily, I only had a little sip. That kind of stuff just is disgusting to me. Okay, but other people like it. I'm not here to say it's trash because me, oh, you, I'm so wonderful. It's trash. And because when you say stuff like that, honestly, when you're saying things like that, like the person telling me, oh, you gave Seagram's Escapes a high score and it is trash. What the person's really saying is that the people who drink it are trash. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're passing judgment on the drinkers. You know what I mean? They're trash and they have no taste and they're stupid because they like it. You see, I don't approach it that way. And then you say, oh, I drank only this great beer. It's all $20 a bottle. I'm superior to you. I'm just basically a better person. That's what you're saying. And I don't go for that kind of attitude. Same thing with whiskey, you know. It's like, okay, I know you could buy a $95 bottle of whiskey. And when can you find any videos where I ever said people should not do that? Or $20 bottles of beer where I ever said people shouldn't do that? Or I ever contended that they weren't great? I never said any of this thing. I'm just saying, okay, for me, this is what I buy, all right? This is what I taste. Now, I've gotten into conflicts with some of the viewers because I've said that people judge beer unfairly before they review it. That's what I said. They're saying, oh, I'm going to do a review of Natural Ice. Let's do a review of this trash beer. They're saying that they haven't even tasted it. So I said, well, it's not a review. It's a slam video. Okay. Now, if you open-minded review it with an open mind, and then you say it's garbage, horrible, trash, you give it a 0 out of 100, fine. I don't think that would happen, however. It would not be one of the top 20 selling beers in America if it was that horrible, okay? That's the only, and I got some people that comment and they make the same comments for like 3 straight years. For 3 years now, why would you want to make the same comment for 3 straight years? So I'm not really going to answer those comments anymore. I'll just say, all right, okay, all right. You know, it's like, oh, well, you said, you know, it's the same comment. You started this channel because you said people were not being fair toward Budweiser. So you, blah, 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 and it goes on and on and on. No. I said, okay, right, we got that. That's old news, okay? It's true. I said people were not being fair toward Budweiser. I have no attachment to Budweiser. I don't know why people think that I do. I said people were just taking a beer that was, you know, kind of ordinary. Say if they gave it a C, like Chad's Beer Reviews did, you know, I said, it's okay, you know, that's fair. No, but they were making it out like it was horrible, giving it an F-. That's, I was saying, the lack of perspective. Don't take something that's just ho-hum and say it's airplane glue. That's all I was saying. I will use wild turkey honey for cough syrup. He uses it for cough syrup. Okay, probably it might work, huh? All right, let's make the designation here. It's kind of like even. If I was going to buy one of these, and honestly, I wouldn't buy them because I don't ever repeat buy. I mean, I'm 50 years old, so what, am I going to live to 150 and just buy everything in a circle? I don't think so. So if I live 50 more years and do videos till I'm 100, right? It's not like I'm going to run out of new items to try, right? So I don't do revisits on these things, especially, I mean, beer, yeah, because it's one bottle, you drink it. But these things, it takes, you know, weeks to drink, literally. So, but theoretically, if I was looking to buy one of these, and I wouldn't be, but if I was, I would just shop price. I mean, there's really no major difference. For somebody to say, oh, Carstairs is way better, or Kessler is way better, I don't think people could honestly say that. But then whoever says that, because who does videos on those? Not really too many people. Okay, so I think this was Carstairs, and I think that was Kessler, but I'm not confident in that at all. And if I get it wrong, I don't think that proves a whole lot. But it will prove that the blend ratio may not make much of a difference. Because I think in this case, the blend ratio is being undercut by the aging. I think if you took 4-year age bourbon, okay, and you blended it at the 72.5 to 27.5 ratio, yeah, it would stand out. It would really be a much stronger whiskey flavor, and it would be a superior thing. But then you wouldn't be able to sell it for $8 a bottle, right? So then you got the 80-20 blend on the Kessler side, Carstairs side, but you're aging it 4 years. So that's like balancing it. They're like balancing it. It's like canceling each other out. So anyway, I think this is Kessler, but, you know, hey, I was right. And the reason was, remember I said it seemed to have a little fuller flavor to some extent. And this one had more of that melon flavor. And, you know, the melon is what I said about the Carstairs. So they're a little different. I wouldn't stay up all night trying to differentiate them. But still interesting, you know. Now, we've gone on long enough. The next one, I have enough left for one more, perhaps two. You can see that's, I told you this bottle is like the loaves of bread and the fishes. The more I drink, the more is left, seems like. We'll go up against Club 400. How about that? Club 400. Now, that's from Baltimore, Maryland, right? At the old Majestic Distilling, previously known as Monumental Distilling. And they're known for their high rye content. And I think that that's where Pikesville rye originated. And I think that the Club 400 is going to stand out because of that rye spice. Now, we will find out in the blind taste test. So that will be in 2 days, God willing, on a Saturday morning. And then if I have any left, maybe I'll go up against ooh, I could do a wild card, Albertsons, that very controversial one, Albertsons. Yeah, that could be interesting. Oh, then we're going out on a limb, right? Okay, well, anyway, and then I'm going to bring in the McCormick. Yeah, I got another bottle of McCormick. So then we're gonna have fun with McCormick. You see, fun with McCormick. Thank you for watching this video production.